Hello, and welcome to Journey with Me. So hello everybody, welcome back to today's episode of Journey with Me. For all of those who are new to this type of education within my channel, this is where I take to my lovely backyard in the Windy City, and I sort of explain everything that I'm learning at the moment, and as I take new steps into the investment world, I'll share them with everyone. And so today we are going to be talking about precious metals, and I know I have done a couple of videos so far about precious metals, but today is to really talk about how I found out about them and what actions I've taken so far to invest in them. So let's get straight into it. So it all started about 3 weeks ago when I had the idea, and I was thinking, well, I know people use it for jewellery and all that sort of stuff, but it's also a very prominent form of investment. So I sat down on my computer and I just educated myself, really. I was looking at articles about the predicted growth of them over the next few years. When I say they, I talk about gold and silver. I watched videos about the best types to buy, the best prices to pay, and local people that were selling them in my area. And after a couple of weeks of strong, hard research, I'd settled with a comfortable dealership near me that was selling it for a very good price, and I'd sort of satisfied myself that I knew enough as to what to buy. And I decided with a few generic small coins, just to start me off. I didn't want to be putting heaps of money into it until I knew that it was I just said A like 50 times, a respectable and trustworthy dealership. Even though I'd looked at a lot online, I wanted to make sure that they were trustworthy, and that they got my stuff to me quickly, and that it was real. And those all turned out to be true. I got some excellent things. The second thing that I had to do was actually see, well, how easy is it to store these, because with most investments you'll technically have them in other spots. You won't be in charge of them. When you buy stocks in Microsoft, for example, you're not owning them, you're not holding them in your house. They're just numbers on a digital screen. And that is partly why I think precious metals are such a good idea, is because they're physical. I can hold this in my hand right now and no one can take this away from me. I don't know, if the stock market crashed in 2 seconds from now, my stuff would be wiped out, and I might not even know for an hour or two. But with this, it's right in front of me, so it's not just going to disappear. Yes, the value may decrease, but from everything that everyone is saying, it's only going to go upwards. And even if it's at a slower pace than stocks and mutual funds and other things like that, it is still diversifying where my money is, where my assets are, and to me that seems like a good idea. If I have all my money in the one spot, then something could go bad and it's all gone. If I have it in different spots, then it's not just backed up by the one thing. Now, through what I'm speaking about here, I'm sort of discussing the idea of a mutual fund where you have lots of different investments, and I will talk about that in a later journey with me. But for now, we're talking about precious metals, and personally, I believe that they are a good investment, even for a small amount of my money. So I'll tend to have 10 to 20% of my money from now on in precious metals. That's just for the time being. That's what I think is going to be doing well at the moment. So that will mean, keeping a certain amount at different times, and as I grow, as I have income coming in, and I'll talk about how that's coming in a while, I will, divide that up. Say I've got 10 to 20% in precious metals, 10 to 20% of the income will go back into precious metals, so they still grow along with everything else. Now, obviously, I'm not a financial expert or anything, I'm a kid, but these are just some, founded knowledge, ideas, things that I've, researched and put a lot of time into, so I believe I have some ground to be telling you something about, what to do, and not really what to do, but as a suggestion, I guess. So I would recommend looking for things that aren't too much over spot. Now, what is spot? I know it's a fairly weird term. Spot is essentially the price of the metal. So the spot price of silver, as I'm speaking right now, is around 15.5 US dollars. So that's something like 23, 24 Australian dollars. And that is the price that if you were to find a chunk of silver, that's how much it would be worth. Now, when you do buy precious metals, when I bought this coin, I didn't pay 23, 24 Australian dollars. I paid more like 33, 34. And that's because of premiums. Premiums are the margin, the percentage of extra that bullion dealers charge when they are selling you their products. And the reason they do this is obviously to make money as a business. If they're buying it for spot or over spot from different, people, if they're producing it themselves, they want to be making money, and it's just natural for a business to do that. And if they're, charging a bit of money on that, I'm not too concerned. And I believe that I paid a fairly decent premium. You'll find coins that have very high premiums, honestly, and some of them will go to absurd amounts, premiums that are more than the actual spot price. And then you're going into collector's items, things that people will collect because they're limited mintage, which means only a certain amount of them were made, or they have certain design features or something like that. Now this was about $10 over, $10 Australian over spot, which is a fairly decent price that I'm willing to pay. If I wait a couple of years or however long it takes for the price of this coin here to grow to over the premium, then I will make money off my investment. Now, it doesn't seem like a massive growth at the moment, but here's the thing. Back in 2011, we saw the price of silver jump from 14 US dollars all the way to 48. Now, I'm not very familiar as to why this happened, and I'm still familiarizing myself with the terms of recession and things like that. But the fact that it has the capability to jump that high is just something that I don't want to miss out on. And the rate of growth possibilities compared to the rate of decrease possibilities is a lot higher, so it's more likely that it's going to go up than down. And I think that's a pretty good odd to go with, given that I'm diversifying my assets. Now you may be sitting there thinking, what is wrong with this kid? He is 13 and he is talking ridiculously. If I can do this, anybody can, honestly. This was just a couple of hours of heavy research. You just put the time in and you get results. If I can do this, a 13-year-old kid, then I believe anybody can do this, even younger than me, because I'm here to help people, and if they take their time and they do it right and they keep an open mind towards it, I believe that anything is possible in the world of finance. That's the better word, finance and investing. And that's all there really is to it. So even though this Journey with Me sort of playlist is about the new things that I'm learning, and this pretty much sums up everything I've just learned about precious metals, it will continue to grow. Look, I might put in more things. I might invest in platinum, which is a different type of precious metal, but I might get more precious metals in gold and silver. I might learn more about it, and I want to share those with everybody so that I can be here as a helpful and easy resource for people to learn from. So I think that's the end of this video. Thank you all so much for watching. It means so much to me. And if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, subscribe, and check out my recent videos. And until next time, goodbye.